Paris, the city of love as it is always called, is a beautiful dream location. It stands out for being one of those wealthy metropolises of the world sprawled out along the Seine River in northern France. So are you planning your first visit to Paris? If so, here are the top 10 attractions and legendary sightseeing destinations we would recommend you to visit in Paris. While exploring these lovely places, allow yourself to fall in love. But before we do that, take a moment to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive in. Number 10. The Louvre Museum. Over 10 million people visit the enormous Louvre Museum each year, making it the most popular museum in the world and a major draw in the area of the first arrondissement known as Royal Paris. The National Museum of France, also referred to as the Great Louvre, is located on the right side of Philip Augustus's 12th century fortress. It is one of the most popular museums in the world and contains artifacts dating from prehistoric times to the middle of the 19th century. Egyptian antiquities, Greek and Roman sculptures, crown jewels, old master paintings, and artifacts from French nobility are just a few examples of the diverse items in the Louvre's collection. The most artistically accomplished painting in the Louvre Museum, which is the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci, is among the top attractions there. It needs no introduction. Trust us, without viewing this piece of art even once, a trip to Paris is not complete. Number 9. Sainte-Chapelle. The Sainte-Chapelle, the finest royal chapel ever constructed in France, was built by Louis IX in the 13th century and is a wonder of architecture. This chapel, which was built in the Rhine Gothic style, draws millions of visitors every year. Louis IX of France commissioned it to house his sizable collection of Passion relics. Additionally, it houses Christ's crown of thorns, artifacts from the medieval Christendom. It once housed a revolutionary court and served as a spot where Marie Antoinette was imprisoned. This chapel's outstanding architectural quality is demonstrated by the distinctive grouping of 15 glass panels, which, together with a rose window, create a veritable wall of light. The baldachin and the steeple were taken down during the chapel's tragic destruction in the late 18th century. A few of the artifacts were scattered, and several shrines, including the Grand Chasse, were destroyed by melting. The chapel's current appearance is a result of 19th and 21st century restoration work. Despite its tragic past, the Sainte-Chapelle is home to a sizable collection of 13th century stained glass. This chapel's 15 stained glass windows are all from the 13th century. The glass windows depict more than 1,000 biblical stories, beginning with the book of Genesis and moving on to the books of Esther and Kings. Number 8. Arc de Triomphe, or Arc of Triumph. The Arc de Triomphe, known as the Triumphal Arc of the Star, is without a doubt the most well-known monument in Paris, France. It was built in 1806, much earlier than the Eiffel Tower, by architect Jean Celgrini. This historically significant monument was built in memory of all the valiant soldiers who gave their lives for France during the Napoleonic Wars and the French Revolution, and it is located at the center of Place Charles de Gaulle and on the westernmost point of the renowned Champs-Élysées Avenue. The names of all French generals and victories, as well as motivational patriotic quotes and messages, are displayed on both the inner and outer sides of this extraordinary arc, which also contains the tomb of the unknown soldier from the First World War beneath it. Before Mexico's Monumento a la Revolución was built in 1938, the Arc de Triomphe in Paris held the record for the highest arch in the world. Additionally influenced by it, the 110-meter-high Le Grand Arc near Paris and the Arch of Triumph in Pyongyang were built using the design and perspective of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, which is listed among the tallest arches in the world. So if you ever want to see one of the tallest arches in the world, be sure to stop by the Arc of Triumph. Number 7. The Palace of Versailles. A lavish complex and the former home of the royal kingdom located outside of Paris is called the Palace of Versailles. The building has strong ties to Paris's political past because it exemplifies a time when France was becoming a global power and fashion hub of the world. As one of the biggest urban centers in France, this location has a particularly strong connection to the French Revolution. In its early years, the Palace of Versailles served primarily as a hunting lodge where the royal family would stay the night if they couldn't get back to Paris. Under Louis XII's rule, additional expansions were eventually built after nearby lands were gradually purchased. This palace was built in a futuristic style, using mostly imported raw materials and a variety of architectural designs. The Palace of Versailles might just enchant you when visiting, with its halls of mirrors made of 357 mirrors imported from Venice, the royal garden decorated with statues and flowering plants, and the royal chapel, which served as a model for numerous European church architectures. Visiting Versailles Palace gives you an unforgettable glimpse into royal life. Here, you could easily spend the majority of the day. Number 6. Montmartre. Montmartre is full of charms with its cobblestone streets, artists, bistros, and the magnificent basilica. One of the most well-known Parisian neighborhoods is Montmartre, which is perched atop a small hill in the 18th arrondissement. The area has changed from the traditional village setting of the 19th and 20th centuries that artists found so appealing. Numerous stories from popular culture have also featured Montmartre. The City of Light's highest point is there. Visit the square of Tertre, which is a few blocks from the basilica if you're in the area. Many artists have set up their easels to paint visitors or display their work. The best thing to do as a visitor is to stroll down the streets and stop by the local art galleries, museums, and other cultural hotspots. From the top of the Sacré-Cœur, the city's most recognizable landmark and a masterpiece of grandeur and grace, you should get a beautiful view of the city. Number 5. Palais Garnier. One of the most well-known and impressive structures in the city of Paris is the Palais Garnier. It stands for the Second Empire's opulence. The current Palais Garnier building, which Napoleon III ordered in 1861, is a lavish example of architecture at its finest. As soon as you enter, you'll notice a large chandelier suspended from the ceiling of the Opera Garnier that weighs 7 tons of pure bronze. With its plush bloody red and golden seating, the auditorium is undoubtedly a sight to behold. The stage in the auditorium is enormous enough to hold more than 450 artists on stage at once. The Opera House is one of the places to be in and around Palais Garnier because every piece of architecture there is a masterpiece in and of itself. Number 4. Latin Quarter. The Latin Quarter is well known as an educational hub on a global scale. Along with the historic University of Paris, the neighborhood is home to the École Normale Supérieure, École des Moines de Paris, and Panthéon-Assas University. Even the educational institutions Schola Cantorum, Jusu University, and École Polytechnique have only recently been founded nearby. This area has a thriving student life. Nightclubs, pubs, restaurants, malls, and cafes because there are so many important educational institutions nearby. The Latin Quarter is a neighborhood you shouldn't skip exploring if you want to spend your vacation among the lively streets of Paris. Number 3. Disneyland. A renowned theme park and enchanted kingdom for both adults and children, Disneyland Paris is situated in Marne-la-Vallée. You can go there to meet your favorite Disney fairy tale heroes and heroines. In fact, it is a world that simultaneously evokes wonder, awe, and enchantment to entertain everyone who enters this wonderland. Disneyland Paris is one of Europe's most popular theme parks, thanks to its countless attractions, dining options, shopping opportunities, and resorts. There are numerous thrilling attractions for the younger generation, including Buzz Lightyear's Laser Blast, Big Thunder Mountain, and Mad Hatter's Teacups. There are also attractions for older visitors, such as the Temple of Peril and the Indiana Jones Daring Loops. A boat ride is another unique adventure you can have here. Within Disneyland Paris itself, the two main attractions are Disneyland Park and Walt Disney Studios. Mickey's Filler Magic, Adventure Isle, Autopia, Big Thunder Mountain, Discovery Arcade, and Disneyland Railroad are a few rides to check out in Disneyland Park. The Walt Disney Studios, on the other hand, is totally committed to its business-centric strategy and offers rides and attractions with Hollywood movie themes. Number 2. Place de la Concorde. Your trip to Paris isn't complete if you don't go to the Place de la Concorde, one of Paris's most popular public squares. Additionally, it is encircled by many well-known Parisian landmarks, including the Champs-Élysées to the west and the Pont de la Concorde to the south. Some of the attractions at Place de la Concorde include the well-known monument Luxor Obelisk, the Orangerie where you can admire Monet's breathtaking water lilies, and the Rue Saint-Honoré shopping district. Number 1. Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is located in the center of Paris and is shrouded in the city's atmosphere of beauty and cultural elegance. Paris has always been surrounded by an alluring aura of romance and vigor. Without visiting the breathtaking Eiffel Tower, your trip to Paris would undoubtedly remain incomplete. The Eiffel Tower, also known as the Iron Lady, is a famous structure made up of 18,000 iron components. The towering structure of one of the 7 wonders of the world will appear before your eyes as soon as you step foot on the Champ de Mars grounds. Numerous vacationers from all over the world come here every year in droves to admire the tower's stunning architecture. It was built in 1889 with the intention of simply acting as the entrance to the World Fair, but it is now regarded as one of France's most significant cultural landmarks. You will be fascinated to discover cafeterias, restaurants, gift shops, and scenic vantage points tucked in at each floor as you explore the tower's 3 distinct levels. The Eiffel Tower, which towers over the Parisian landscape, is a representation of Paris and offers breathtaking city views from its 3 levels. Going to the top of the Eiffel Tower is often at the top of travelers' list of must-see attractions in Paris, France, and for a good reason. From the tower's top, one can enjoy the panoramic view of Paris's urban landscape set against the skyline's azure backdrop. As night falls, another breathtaking sight of the Eiffel Tower illuminated by countless myriad bulbs will astound you. So, it makes sense that the tower is undeniably a masterwork of structural beauty and will prove to be a treasured memory to cherish for a lifetime. Which of these places would you like to visit? Comment below and have a wonderful trip!